Hey there, this is Muffin McFluff, and I'm posting a video that I made about this Redstone Bridge that I designed. It seems to work pretty well. It's pretty fast. It's not extremely fast, especially on withdrawing the bridge. However, on extension, it's pretty good. The way that it works is obviously it uses slime blocks here. However, what it does is it'll push up the slime blocks, it'll double extend those slime blocks, and while it's pushing those up, it'll also move these pistons upwards, which will also move the logs up as well. So on extension, you can see that it has these pistons here that aren't really doing anything. They're mostly being used by the slime blocks here, so that way they can also push up the log blocks. The only problem is that when it retracts them, it can't pull back those log blocks. However, that's why I was using specifically pistons, so that way, let me go ahead and show you without that circuit. So when it withdraws the bridge, obviously the problem is that it won't withdraw the middle blocks here. So that's what the circuit right here is, the orange circuit. What it does is whenever you're withdrawing the bridge, so turning that circuit off, what it'll do is it'll wait after the first time the slime blocks have been drawn back down, then it'll pulse the red circuit here, and then it'll wait until after the second time the slime blocks have been pulled back down to pulse it again. So that's what this is doing right here. It'll pulse through the first time to activate the red circuit, and then it'll wait 8 ticks and then pulse a second time. So let me go ahead and show you the rest of the red circuit, because you can't see all of it while it's withdrawn, because it's hiding underneath the pistons here. As you can see, it's just, you know, two redstone and 2 repeaters pushing into 2 blocks with torches on top. And the way it works is, like I said, it'll just pulse this torch here, which activates those 2 redstone torches. And then, whoops, fell down. And then it'll, using the repeaters, push the signal through those blocks as well to activate the other 2 over there. So that way there's no need to wrap the circuit all the way around. It just goes straight through the middle underneath these pistons. So there's no need for that. However, for the input here to get both of these very side pistons that work the slime blocks, it was needed to go all the way around. So here we have the white circuit, which is the input, the dark gray, which controls the lower piston, and then light gray, kind of hard to tell. It looks like it's just shadowed a bit, but light gray that activates the top one. So it'll it'll activate the top one first. However, because of the block here, it won't activate the top one first. So it'll wait until the bottom one extends, the dark gray circuit extends the bottom one first, and then the top piston will be able to activate. So it gets a very quick extension. And then the withdraw. On the withdraw, it normally would only take 4 ticks to withdraw the bottom circuit. It only takes 2 ticks to withdraw the top piston. So it'll withdraw the piston here and the log block. However, it won't withdraw it 4 ticks later, because it's got this, which is extending this this timer here. It's making sure that this bottom circuit, bottom piston stays on for 12 ticks longer. So that way the red circuit here has enough time to pulse at least once before it'll withdraw again, and then wait until after it withdraws again to pulse a second time. So it works pretty well. It doesn't rely on super precise timing, which is something that I don't like to rely on, because I used to rely on it a lot more often in some of my circuits, and then the very next update would just destroy those circuits. So I like making circuits now like this, which don't rely on super precise timing. That's usually the way I go now. But as you can see, this one bridge is just stripped down a little bit. Everything will be able to work within the design that was posted on the Reddit post that this is a response to. So everything should be able to fit in just fine. All these parts here should be able to fit underneath the ground, and then the only other parts that won't should be beyond the wall. I don't know if you wanted a just one lever to activate it or two levers. So you should be able to look up an XOR circuit if you want to get two levers. That's a XOR, and then just hook up both levers into that. But I was able to eventually make an infinitely expandable version, but this one took a while to finish, and it's still a little buggy. It uses the same principle. It doesn't extend as quickly because of simply the way that it works. But it's still pretty good. With the way that it works, there's a slight problem because moving these slime blocks, there's each of these slime blocks basically has a 2 wide, because it's a 2 wide bridge, by 3 long section of blocks to move up, and then it's too tall because it needs to push up the slime blocks, the logs, and the pistons, which means that it's pushing upwards 12 blocks, which is just the limit. However, there's also a slight problem because it needs to also pull up the piston, the second piston underneath, which means that it's 13 blocks, which means that it's just over the limit. So the way that I was able to solve this was when I activate this circuit, the very first thing it does is it'll pulse these middle pistons, so that way it'll try and move as many blocks as possible up before it moves the first slime block piston upwards, so that way it will have at least one more block pushed further away from it. Let me try and get a side shot of it extending. So it pushes those up, and then it'll push up the middle pistons here, and then it'll push up the slime block pistons. Then on the way back down, it works basically the same way. I was able to move all of the circuitry and timing over here, and then just set it up so that way everything on the on here is just relying on the timing over there, and it's just moving the signal along. I did make sure that it still does proper timing with extending the signal, because obviously you couldn't say it's infinite if it can't go past 15 blocks. So it's a pretty interesting design. I know it's not absolutely necessary, and there are easier ways to do this sort of thing. However, like I said before, I don't like relying on timing, and although this one does rely on timing, and for that reason I don't care for it a whole lot, I'd like to get a better way of doing it. This is just a work in progress that I have. So this is not color-coded yet. I may color-code it if you guys seem to like it. However, like I said, it basically runs on the same properties that run this one, which is color-coded. Whoops. Which is color-coded, so that way it was easier to demonstrate how it works. it uses, like I said, the same principles. Basically, these slime blocks act as, you could say, arches, you could say they're supports, and it just does it on a larger scale that is able to be scaled. So, hope you guys enjoy. As you can see, I was taking a few screenshots. I was going to just make this a set of images, but I figured a video would probably work a bit better. Can't edit, so I'm not going to edit it, so hope you guys enjoy, and let me know what you think.